Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell, get all the updates. Really excited for today's beer for three reasons. Yeah, I think three reasons. One, I love this beer. Two, I love this beer aged. This one's from 2016. It's 3.5 years old, from November specifically. I'm reviewing this in April 2020. And three, I wanted to get used to the taste because I was able to get the Utopias barrel aged one. I'm going to review that tomorrow. So I don't want to kill myself and do both in the same day because they're 15 to 8. Well, this one's 15 to 18% alcohol. With that one being aged in Utopias barrels, I assume it's pulling at least some of that alcohol out. So it's probably, even higher than this one. So yeah, I definitely didn't want to do both at the same time. Um, I have a few different vintages of this one. I had two from 2016. That's why I'm doing one right now. All the other ones I have one of. And I have two or three bottles of the oak barrel aged one they did. I was not able to get the bourbon one. I do want to get the bourbon one, but I'm really excited I got the Utopias one. But anyway, let's get into it. I don't think I'll review Utopias again because I've reviewed those vintages a couple times at this point. But I will drink some before I do that review of the Utopias barrel aged worldwide stout. Proper glassware. Had a good streak where my glasses were clean. Yeah, proper glassware. You see that? You can see my reflection. Whoa. Two no hype beer reviews. Anyway, such an idiot. Just under 2 fingers of head. It's approaching mocha. Not quite there for me. It's pretty darn black. A little bit of brown at the bottom. Looks like a big stout. Nice head retention. There is legs for sure already. Given the ABV, I'm not surprised. But yeah, no, it definitely looks like a big stout. Let's get into the aroma. It smells quite good. It's roasty. It's got like that leather and tobacco thing going for sure. It's a little like outdoorsy, woodsy, earthy, almost like kind of like how Russian Imperial Stout smells. Like it has some of that hop, like I don't know, earthy. It's the best way to describe it is earthy. Little umami, soy saucy. Like it's definitely more of that stuff that I first said and what I just said. Then it's not like a hoppy smelling beer. I don't want to give the wrong impression. It smells really good. It smells big. Maybe a trace amount of alcohol in the aroma. A little bit of baker's chocolate fighting its way through, but I mean, it really it's leather, it's tobacco, it's roast. Yeah, it smells really good. Let's get into the taste. Cheers. A little bit more of that chocolate comes through in the taste. Actually, it's really good. Definitely getting warmth. It was from my cellar, so it's right around 60 degrees. Um, but yeah, you get some of that chocolate, dark chocolate, perhaps moments of milk chocolate. It has that like that robustness that I was saying leather and tobacco is there. It's a little smoky in that way. Not quite approaching like peaty, like an Irish whiskey or whatever, like that kind of peaty. Not quite there, but it's approaching that. If that was like one end of the spectrum, it's not at that end, but it is on that spectrum. It's a cherry note, which works well, especially with the chocolate, the roast. There's some sweetness, but it's prickly with the savory. Um, so yeah, although it has sweetness, it's a lot of like like the sensory that you're having in the experience. It's like not I don't use the word sharp, but it's prickly, it's sharp, and it's not soy sauce, but it has that umami thing in the taste for sure, and it's all these things happening together. I'm trying to avoid using the word complex, but it's fine. It's a complex beer. All these things are happening. I think one of the things that happens with this beer is it ages longer. And again, I mean, 3.5 years it's been aging. And it happens in a lot of beers. Is flavors meld together. There is some of that, but it is definitely distinct moments of things. So although there is some holistic melding of flavors, at this point, 3.5 years in, there's still individual, fireworks being shot off in the experience is kind of how I describe it. Like in that one, I have to now add that milk chocolate came through much more than I was experiencing before. If I didn't know better, I'd say there's a little bit of vanilla in that. Actually, that oak age one I mentioned earlier has vanilla in it, doesn't it? Oak vanilla age, I think it is. Um, and it finishes very roasty, very dry. Um, I mentioned that spectrum of like peatiness being at one end. The finish is actually even closer to what I would think the finish of not think have experienced of again not quite peaty, but so approaching that level. The reason I keep saying that is I don't have a good word for it's like 75% of the way there, you know. So that's why I have to keep saying it's not at that level, but yeah, it's about. I guess using this scale, it's about 75% of the way to where I would use that word peaty to describe this. Um, the 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 chocolate mixing with because there's this other flavor. It's why it's actually, if I'm being honest, why I'm still rambling. There's this other flavor that I think is coming from the mixing of some of these flavors. And at this point, it really feels like it's transitioning into where more and more of these flavors are melding. So it's not quite there, but I do feel like there's some flavors that I've identified that are coming together and creating this unique flavor. And I'm just having a hard time putting my finger on that other thing. It's so frustrating these beer reviews when there's like this one descriptor, you can't quite figure it out. You can't put your finger on it. That's what's happening right now. And it's something with that chocolate. It's coffee. I'm an idiot. It's coffee. The chocolate and the roast. What I'm identifying as chocolate, what I'm identifying as roast, is just coming together and creating elements of coffee. I cannot believe it took me that long to figure that out. It's just coffee. Yeah, it's a really good beer. It has aged well. I think it's pretty obvious that I would rather have this a little bit older and have these flavors melding together a little bit more. But yeah, it's definitely drinking great at 3.5 years in. Definitely looking forward to sipping on this for a long time in the coming evening. Have you had this beer before? Have you aged this beer before? Have you had this one, the oak barrel aged one, the bourbon barrel aged one, the Utopia's barrel aged one? Anything and everything that has to do with this, put in the comment section below. Let's get a conversation going. Check me out on Instagram and Tap. So I have beer reviews at both those places. So always please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.